Hello, it's Shadow and crew once again. Today we are here to test your might. If you played video games, you know where that quote is from. It is one of the greatest fighting game franchises. It's Mortal Kombat, but the greatest entry into this franchise was not a game or a movie. It was the short-lived TV series Mortal Kombat Conquest. This show is another criminally underrated series. It had only one season, but it was an action-packed epic adventure. It had some of the best Mortal Kombat lore and storytelling. The show takes place in the distant past, dealing with the life of the first Kung Lao after winning the Mortal Kombat tournament. Kung Lao, who has been handpicked and trained by Raiden, was the person to finally defeat Shang Tsung. For failing to defeat Kung Lao, Shao Kahn imprisons Shang Tsung in the Cobalt Mines. The main plot of the show is about Shang and Shao Kahn both trying to kill Kung Lao and his friends. Kung Lao is tasked by Raiden to train new fighters for the next Mortal Kombat tournament. The three main characters are Kung Lao the monk, Zero, a bodyguard, and a thief, Ta Jia. The show has multiple appearances from a lot of characters from the game, and some were created for the show. Some are the best portrayals of these characters. For instance, Shao Kahn, Raiden, and Reptile are the best versions I have ever seen of these characters. Especially Shao Kahn. This is the best version of Kahn in any medium. This show fight scenes still hold up in this day and age. This show produces some of the most epic fights in a martial arts show. To see some of your favorite characters from the Mortal Kombat game do battle in good live action is great. Most action scenes from other shows from that era were not done too well. So to see something back then with such high quality was amazing.
Get over here. I remember watching Mortal Kombat Conquest when I was younger. This show made me a fan of the second Kung Lao from the games. Because the original Kung Lao that is in this show is so awesome. I always wish they would bring him to the games. This is the Kung Lao that Liu Kang is compared to. Outworld warriors are a constant threat to Kung Lao and the crew. The power dynamics in this show are fantastic. Zero and Ta Jia are good fighters in their own right, but most of the time they are no match against the other realms fighters. Kung Lao was trained by Raiden in one Mortal Kombat, so he is more than a match for most. There are so many great scenes with the three main characters. They each have their own emotional journey they go on. Zero has to accept the fact that he always considers himself a strong fighter, but that image gets destroyed when he faces some of the warriors from other realms. You got normal humans trying to fight against supernatural forces that they didn't even know existed.
You already mentioned how good Shao Kahn is, but you did not do it justice. Shao Kahn in this show is so intimidating and menacing, that he almost looks like Jason Voorhees. Every scene this character is in, you can feel his aura. The power and fear he commands over the other characters is a sight to see. This is the best version of the Emperor of Outworld. The MK movies and some games try to make Shao Kahn feel menacing, but most fail. When you watch MK Conquest, there is no question that Shao Kahn is the final boss. The funny thing is, the reason why Shao Kahn and Raiden are so good in this show is because they're played by the same actor. When I found that out, it was shocking. The two characters have two completely different auras. You would never think it was the same person playing both roles. But there are many great characters in this show. Some of them are written so well you would think they ripped them right out of the game. Watching MK Conquest makes you see how rich the Mortal Kombat lore is. MK was one of the first fighting games to have an actual story. That is the thing that made Mortal Kombat so great, and different from other fighting games at the time. It has excellent world building and fleshed out characters. The show gives some backstory on some of the other realms and how and why certain characters became the way they are.
Mortal Kombat Conquest is a show you can keep going back to. It was a great show for its time, and it still can hold its own against some recent shows today. Conquest is actually a pretty deep show. It is not a mindless brawler. You wouldn't expect that good of writing from a 90s martial arts TV show. There were a few back then, like Hercules, Xena, Buffy, Angel, and a few others. MK Conquest belongs to that group. Those shows' writing still holds up today. Conquest is a character-driven show. The show focuses on the three main characters. You will see the characters go through lots of development. Kung Lao is torn between wanting to live a normal life and his duty to defend the Earth realm and train the next generation of fighters. Zero does not fully believe in the Mortal Kombat tournament and its supernatural elements. Zero also needs to prove he's just as good or a better fighter than Kung Lao, Taja trying to turn away from her old life as a thief. Then there is Raiden, popping in and out of nowhere, womanizing, cracking jokes, and giving sage advice. Even some of the villains have good development.
Some of the characters that were created for this show are amazing. The character, Vorpax, is one of the best characters on the show. This character should get put in the games. She is that good of a character. All these attempts to make a Mortal Kombat movie, all they need to do is take Conquest as a blueprint. Actually, they just need to continue Conquest. This is MK done right. It is better than the recent movies, and some of the games. I said it. The MK franchise has taken quite a beating in the past few years, and it doesn't look like it's going to be getting better anytime soon. That is why you should watch this show. It will help you remember how great Mortal Kombat is. There are many characters, and factions vying for power. The show has good solid writing with mature themes. This isn't a kids show. Like the games, the show can go into some dark places at times. Mistakes made by characters can be deadly and fatal. And speaking of characters, the two kings of the MK franchise are in this show in all their glory. Sub-Zero and Scorpion are done very well in this show, way better than the movies. You would think Sub-Zero would be overpowered in this show, like most of the time when he is in other MK things. But this show introduces Sub-Zero powers with a clever side effect, that stops him from being completely unstoppable. Similar clever things applied to some of the more powerful characters. The fight scenes are still incredible. Most fights are well put together. Each character, like the games, has a unique style of fighting. This show's fight scenes put a lot of current action movies and shows to shame. You have a show made in the 90s still beating out other things in the genre more than 20 years later.
Mortal Kombat Conquest is a show made for MK fans. If you are a fan of MK, you will see that there are a lot of little Easter eggs in the show that fans will recognize. Even if you are not that familiar with the MK franchise, the show makes it easy for you to get into. It is a great action drama show. It should have gotten that second season. The final fight in the last episode is epic. The story will leave you on one of the best cliffhangers. What do some of you think about Mortal Kombat Conquest? Leave a comment. Please subscribe and give a thumbs up if you like the video. Until next time, it is back to the shadows. Thanks for watching.